Welcome to Main Event Caterers' training video on choice of entree service. In this video, you will learn the roles and processes we use when different guests are to be served different entrees at our catered events. Let's begin by discussing the various positions you might be assigned. The event supervisor will make all the staff assignments and inform each staff person what role they will have. During the service itself, the supervisor will act as a traffic cop to ensure each food service team is going to the correct table. The expo person tells each person on the food team what plates they should pick up. The expo person also informs the chef of any special plates needed for upcoming tables. Each food team will consist of 5 or more butlers. The food team should always stay together and in their correct order. Each member of the food team will pick up the plates that the expo person tells them to, and will serve those plates to the correct place setting at the table the supervisor is directing them to. The fixer is a separate position from the food teams. The fixer is the problem solver. We want each team to stay together. If there is a problem in which the wrong food is brought to a guest, the food team will inform the fixer. The fixer will bring the correct food to the guest, while the food team brings food to the next table. The chefs will focus on creating the food plates. They will make plates by a percentage of total guests. As an example, if we have 100 guests and 60 are eating beef while 40 are eating chicken, the chef will make 6 beef plates, then 4 chicken plates, then 6 beef plates, then 4 chicken plates, etc. If there are any special requests, such as vegetarian meals, the expo person will call ahead to let the chef know that a vegetarian meal is coming soon. Now that we have talked about the positions, we need to go over the process. It all begins during the dining room table setup. As you may recall from our training video on setting dining room tables, we always place one place setting at the head of the table. The head of the table will be the same spot at each table. Then, depending on how many guests there are, we will either put 1 or 2 place settings at the tail of the table. One place setting will be used on tables that have even guest counts. 2 place settings will be used for tables that have odd guest counts. No matter what, there is always one place setting placed at the head of the table. This will be very important later. As we said earlier, the supervisor will make staff assignments. One person will be assigned as the expo. Food teams will be assigned, and each food team will consist of 5 or more butlers. Depending on how many staff are working, the event can have multiple food teams. One person will be assigned as the fixer, and any remaining staff will refresh beverages while the food teams serve food. Each food team will have a leader. That person always goes first. The rest of the team will stay in their exact order behind the leader. The expo person will tell each member of the food team which entree type they should pick up in each hand. As an example, if the expo says beef chicken, the butler would pick up a beef plate in their left hand and a chicken plate in their right hand. Again, the food team always stays together, so they only leave the kitchen once everyone has all their plates. The key to the success of this service is having the correct food order for each guest at the tables. In a perfect world, we know ahead of time where each guest will be sitting, and we can have the order sheets filled out before the guests actually sit for dinner. There will be times where the guest seating isn't pre-planned. In those instances, we won't know ahead of time what the orders will be, and so butlers will have to take food orders while guests are eating their first course. To facilitate this, we have created our order chit cards. Below is a picture of a chit card for a table with 12 guests. Each butler would write their name and the table number at the top of the chit card. Then they would start with the person at the head of the table and go counterclockwise, taking each person's order. We also have chit cards for rectangular tables. These tables should be treated as having 2 different sides. Start with the person at the upper left-hand corner. This is the head person for side A. Side A consists of all guests on that side of the table and any guests on the bottom edge of the table. Then side B starts where side A ended. Let's bring it all together. The supervisor will create staff assignments. One person will be assigned as the expo. Food teams will consist of 5 or more butlers. One person will be assigned as the fixer, and any remaining staff will refresh beverages. No matter how many guests, one place setting will always be placed at the head of each table. Each butler will use a chit card form to take food orders at their table. All of the chit card forms will be given to the expo person, who will organize them by table order. When it is time for dinner service, the food teams will line up, and the expo person will tell each member of the food team what food to pick up. The chef will begin creating plates of food and will make plates based on percentage of total guests. Again, as an example, if there are 100 guests and 60 are eating beef while 40 are eating chicken, the chef will make 6 beef plates, then 4 chicken plates, then 6 beef plates, then 4 chicken plates. The expo person will spend the majority of their time informing the members of food teams what food to pick up. The expo person will only call out to the chefs any upcoming special meal requests or tell the chef to slow down in a certain type of protein if one is getting too far ahead. The expo person will not call out to the chefs upcoming table orders. They again will only call out special requests. The food team will stay together and will only leave the kitchen when all members of the team have food in their hands. They will then bring food to the appropriate table, and the leader will serve the first plate to the guest at the head of the table. The leader will serve their second plate to the next person counterclockwise. The second person on the food team will serve their first plate to the next open position where the first person on the food team left off. The second person on the food team will then serve their second plate to the next person, again going counterclockwise. The third person on the team will serve their 2 plates, and so on until the entire table is served. If there is an error, the fixer fixes the problem. Let's say the person at the tail of this table mistakenly got beef when they ordered chicken. The fixer would remove the incorrect plate and replace it with a correct plate of chicken. While this is happening, the food team would stay together and pick up food for the next table. Ideally, we get everything correct the first time and the fixer isn't needed. However, there can be many reasons why a fixer is needed. The most common we have found is that guests change their seat positions after we've already taken food orders. No matter what, it isn't the end of the world if there is a problem because we have a fixer. Thank you for watching our training video on choice of entree service. Take this knowledge with you and have a great time at our events.